Thing is with Manchester United is, I mean, they scare me. They're not going through a good patch at the moment, but they've got good players who will achieve. And I'm a big believer that the cream floats to the top. And with ourselves going there, we're semi-skimmed. You know, we ain't got any cream.
Hello and welcome to Talking Good Games, sponsored by Royal London Watches. Make sure you check them out. Links below. Christmas around the corner. Perfect time for you to get a watch for your loved one, West Ham branded. As well, we're here to do the preview of Manchester United against West Ham United. We're leaving behind the theatre of nightmares in Stratford and heading to the theatre of dreams up in Manchester. Gonzo, what's your thoughts on our opponents, Manchester United?
Well, I think everybody thought that they'd be a lot better this season. There was the big announcement that Mourinho was taking over, and thus far he doesn't look that much better than Van Gaal, who in turn didn't look that much better than David Moyes. So everybody predicted that things would go pretty pear-shaped when Fergie, chucked the towel in, so to speak. But I think now we're beginning to realise just how good Ferguson was.
In his last 5 or 6 full seasons in the Premier League, where Mourinho has been after 12 league games, that's where he has finished the season. And currently, Manchester United are 6th. So, Man United fans are going to finish 6th this season. Scott, what's your opinions on their manager, Mourinho? Do you think maybe he should have got this job when Fergie left like he wanted?
I think he's the wrong manager for him, to tell you the truth. I like him. But I think he's the wrong manager for them. I think there were other managers out there that could have done a better job than what he's done. The thing is with Manchester United is, I mean, they scare me. They're not going through a good patch at the moment, but they've got good players who will achieve. And I'm a big believer that the cream floats to the top. And with ourselves going there, we're semi-skimmed. You know, we ain't got any cream.
I've never heard that kind of. That's a good one. I like that one. What I will say about Mourinho is, I think it's harsh to evaluate him so far. If you remember when Klopp took over at Liverpool, it took him a while to get going. We're only really seeing the Klopp's Liverpool side this season. Pochettino at Spurs didn't get off to the best of starts either. He's only 12 league games into his Man United career, and he's got a lot of shifting about to do. I think he's starting to discover his best 11, though. I think I watched him against Arsenal. I think he's finally found the midfield three of Herrera, Carrick and Pogba, and that could work. I thought Pogba was really good against Arsenal. Not effective, but physically he was starting to muscle players out the game like Coquelin and El Neni. They couldn't get near him. I'm surprised that he's not playing Mkhitaryan much on the right wing. Zlatan is back from his suspension, though, so Rashford might shift out on to the wing where he wasn't very good. Gonzo, what's a good season for Man U then? They're sitting 6th right now. Some teams are looking a little bit more impressive than him. You just said that he's not hit the dizzy heights of some thought. So what would be a good finish to the season for Manchester United?
Well, this is Manchester United. This is the biggest football club in England. They were perennial winners of the Premier League once it started, whenever in 1991-92, whenever the Premier League sort of was created into existence. They currently hold the world transfer fee, don't they, for Pogba? They spend a lot of money. I think they've got the highest wages of anybody, of any sort of proper club. I think there's some Chinese club but you know what I mean, any sort of proper European club. What's a good finish? They have to win the title. If they don't win the title, they need to finish 2nd. I don't think you can offer up this mitigation that, last year they didn't do too well, and the year before. That's a good season. A good season for Man United is, at the very least, winning the league. But really, they should be winning the league and the cup and a run in Europe. So anything's going to be bad.
I think you're a bit harsh there. I think top 4 is good for them, considering they're going through a transition period. Scott, I'll be coming to you in a second about Wayne Rooney. To get your thinking cap on. Martial has only had 3 shots on target against West Ham United in his career. All 3 have found the back of the net. So if he gets a shot on target, it's a goal. Mourinho against West Ham United has won 7 of his 9 Premier League games. However, he did lose his last one up in part last season when he got sent to the stands as Chelsea fell to a 2-1 defeat. And finally, Wayne Rooney. He's been involved in 14 goals in 13 games against West Ham. 11 of them, he scored 11, he set up 3. However, he hasn't done either in the last 3 times he's played us. So his form is dipping. So, Scott, what's your opinion on Wayne Rooney?
Oh man, there's so much in the papers, isn't there? I think he's coming to the end of his career. I think the papers, the media are very disrespectful to him. I think he's a right player, and I think he's a right nice lad. I'd like to see him still in the United side. I think he can do a job for them, but not the kind of job that they're expecting him to do. I think on the bench, come on, bit of an impact player. But I think rounded about the club, I think he's the kind of role model that they want.
Yeah, well, he came off the bench against Arsenal when they were winning 1-0 and ended up drawing 1-1. And I think he affected the game negatively because Rashford then got moved and he caused the goal, which led to Arsenal's equaliser. You could almost say it was like a Nordveit substitution that Bilic did against Spurs. The man in the middle, this is not good news, by the way. This is not good news. If there's one referee I hate, it's John Moss. And John Moss is the referee on Sunday. I cannot stand him. But anyway, we've had him once this season. We got beat 3-0 at home by Southampton. However, last season, we did all right underneath him. We won 4 games and drew 1. So we're unbeaten under him last season. And we beat Chelsea 2-1 when Moss was in charge of that game and Mourinho got sent to stands. Manchester United have had him just once this season. They won 1-0 away to Hull. However, now I could be wrong. I've gone through the fixtures and it looks like Man United have had him 16 times as a referee. They're unbeaten all 16 times and they've won 15 of them. So it looks like Man United have a favourite referee here. And I just hate John Moss. He's a rubbish referee. He can't keep up with the pace of the game. And he usually gets one big call wrong at some point in the 90 minutes. So also tie that in. After the game against Arsenal, Mourinho was saying his side are really unlucky. And now, as we all know, Mourinho likes a mind game. I think he's simply cranking up the pressure on John Moss ahead of the game on Sunday. So we'll see. But let's talk about West Ham United. Gonzo, Winston Reid is suspended. What are you doing in the centre-back position?
What am I doing? More to the point, what's Bilic doing? And he is drafting James Collins in. I would like to have seen, particularly bearing in mind the rumours that Reece Oxford is going to be signing a new contract. We'd like to see Oxford involved, but I would have liked to see him more involved up to now. So it is going to be a tough one to throw him in against Man U, but it's only tough because he hasn't been involved in some of the lesser games. And let's be perfectly honest, look at where we are in the table. We couldn't have done any worse than we are now, really, could we? So I think he'll play Collins there. I think he'll stick with his formation because there were positives to take from that Tottenham game. So, and if you can iron out the individual errors, it might suit a counter-attacking game. I think Bilic will go with Collins.
Well, I think that's the obvious choice. It's kind of like the only choice, really. I don't know if Oxford is 100% fit after his injury either. The one talking point, what I think is going to be a good debate here, Scott, you don't like him. Mark Noble's back from suspension. Would you put him into the team?
Yeah, I mean, towards the end of last season, he grew on me, a bit like athlete's foot, but he grew on me. But yeah, I think we need him. I think against Tottenham, there was no tacklers. There was nobody putting it about. There was nobody getting in there, even when we were playing well. And I think that's what he'll give us. I wish we had other players that did that. So I think we need him. I think he needs to be a bit nasty. I think he needs to put himself about. So yeah, Noble in.
What about yourself, Gonzo? Would you put Noble in? Bearing in mind that Lanzini and Obiang started against Spurs, in my opinion, I thought it worked really well. I thought we had the creative player next to the guy that can intercept and read the opponent's attacking.
I would be very surprised if Lanzini got moved from that central position at any point between now and the end of the season, barring injury or a bit of resting maybe on one game here or there. Well, he was sensational in the middle. He made everything happen, made everything tick, gave us some flair and some guile. Somebody who had an idea on how to do something. So I don't think Noble will get in, and I think as Obiang, since he's got in the team, has nailed down that place. So I think it's going to be tough for Mark. And unlike Cheku Kiate, who's managed, even though he was playing quite crap in central midfield the early part of the season, has sort of found a sort of second wind, a renaissance, if you like, and he's gone into the back three. I don't think you'll find Mark Noble being able to move into any other position apart from the one he usually plays in. So no, I'm going with Lanzini and Obiang.
Gonzo, right wing back. Antonio started against Spurs. All 3 goals came down his side. do we have an option to put there? Or would you maybe put Fernandes in, or would you keep Antonio there and just hope that Man U don't target it?
Yeah, everything that you said, really. I would hope that they don't target it. They will target it, because if there's... I do remember when Mourinho was at Chelsea and Lampard and Terry said that they couldn't believe it when Mourinho had come because he was so thorough. What everybody would get would be a little DVD of their opponent for that match. So he's got a big scouting team. So what will happen is whoever, let's say it's Martial, is targeted with going down that flank, Martial will have a little DVD and a little presentation, a PowerPoint package, which will show him what Antonio does when he's put, you know, if you cut in, this is what Antonio will do. If you stay wide, this is what Antonio will do. And I think from that point of view, maybe you shouldn't, because if you play Fernandes there, then his little package, if you like, is going to be not as vast as Antonio, who has a lot of Premier League game time behind him. It's going to be tough. I mean, I'm not confident at all. We'll get predictions later, of course, but I'm not confident. How long have we been saying it? End of last season, we needed a right back, a right defender, and we needed a striker, and it's not been addressed, and we are suffering. We're still suffering.
Before I ask them all about confidence and predictions, Scott, last question on the team selection. Keeping Saka up front?
Yeah. I was unsure about him coming back, to tell you the truth, but he's back and we'll support him and we'll get him. He offers us something different. I mean, that's before. We're not bloody... Well, we are brimming with strikers, but we're not brimming with strikers that can put the ball in the back of the net. Out of all of them, he fills me more hope than most.
Yeah, I for team selection wise, I would pick the same 11, except I'd swap Fernandes for Antonio. I'm afraid I would probably bench Antonio. If I had to put Antonio in, I'd probably take out Ayew and put Antonio further forward, and then Ginge for Reed as a forced change. I'm sorry, Mr. Noble, I would leave you on the bench as well, simply because I thought Lanzini was fantastic in the centre of the park, and Obiang has to start. Before I ask these two about their confidence and predictions, fun fact, nobody has won in the league in Manchester since 24th of September. That includes Man U and Man City. All the games in the last 2 months in Manchester have been draws. So no one's won there. Also, we've not won at Old Trafford since May 2007. We've lost 8 of our last 10 games there in all competitions. Also, if Antonio scores another headed goal in Premier League this year, 2016, he will beat the record. He currently is equal Tim Cahill, who got it in 2010 for the most headed goals in a calendar year. So there you go, Antonio. You may be a record breaker at some point between now and New Year. Gonzo, you said you're not very confident. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I just think I'm not confident because I don't think the team's confident. I think confidence is shot, to be perfectly honest with you. I think we probably needed a Burnley or a Swansea or somebody like that to get over. That's hugely damaging, winning a game up to the 88th minute, 87th minute, whatever it was, and then losing the game. That is really going to dent everybody's confidence. I think there were major individual errors in that game as well. It's been very, very hard to get those sorted on the training field, particularly bearing in mind Reed is missing. And I think we're going to ship goals. I really do think we're going to ship goals. I think they're on a slight upward trajectory. Man United, they might not be playing like Liverpool or whatever, but as you say, I think bringing Carrick back in the team was a really good move for them. He was out of favour when they started with Mourinho. Herrera, as you say, has played well, and perhaps Pogba's coming back to form. Ibrahimovic, I think, had a suspension. So maybe Ibrahimovic is, and make no mistake about it, if our defence struggled with Harry Bloody Winks, who they'd never heard of, they'll struggle with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So I'm not confident on this one. I'm really, really not. I'm probably more confident for the League Cup.
Scott, are you confident? Before you answer, I think we have to bear in mind there was a lot of positives to take from this Spurs game. We were only 5 minutes away from being the first team to beat them in the league this year. So are you confident, Scott, or are you seeing it from Gonzo's point of view in the sense that the way we lost it is just a complete stick the knife in and twist it big time?
Well, yeah, I'm very much like Gonzo. I think Going into this game, there's a lot of pressure on the manager. He knows his job's up for grabs. The players will be feeling that. They're going to Old Trafford. It's not the easiest place to go. Like I said, they're playing against £100 million players. A lot of pressure going into that. Start going back a little bit. I know I am. I would have liked to have seen more youth coming into the side, but this period is the time to be putting Oxfords in and Fletchers in, because they're going to get absolutely hammered if we lose. It's going to be a tough game. It is. It's going to be a tough game, and we're really going to be up against it. I hope that they just think, bugger it. We're up there. We're just going to give it our best. That game against Tottenham, it'll be in the back of the Reds. That hurt. As a fan, that hurt me. That's going to hurt them as players. I hope they can get that out of their head.
I don't think it'll hurt some of those players as much as it hurt you, Scott. Maybe controversial, but I think for some of those players, it's just a job, unfortunately. But I think you can use that. I think you can use that hurt and that pain as motivation to drive you at Old Trafford, to remind you what a lapse of concentration can do and just how quickly you can lose it. When you're playing a top team, you can have moments of lapses against Sunderland and Middlesbrough, and you'll get off with it a little bit. Your keeper will bail you out, your teammate will bail you out. You do that against Tottenham, Man U, or Arsenal, you'll get punished. You cannot have a lapse of concentration. And I think we got a bit of a wake-up call, if you like, at White Hart Lane in that last 5 minutes. If you switch off for 5 minutes, you will concede 2 goals. I think you can use that as a motivational tool, and I think our players are playing for the manager. I think we showed that against Spurs, and I think we'll show it at Old Trafford. I'll disagree about the Fletcher thing. I think if there's anyone up for this one, it's the guy that kind of got half told that a Man United, you're not good enough, we've got Rashford, there's the door, see you later. I think that guy will be up for it. Before we do the prediction, Gonzo, quick answer. Win one, lose one. We play them in the league on Sunday, we play them in the cup midweek. If you have to pick one to win, the other one to lose, which would you pick to win?
I want to win the cup. I always want to win a cup. I want to win a trophy.
Scott?
If you'd have asked me 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'd have gone cup. We need the points in the league. Really, I want to get to 38 points as quick as possible.
Yeah, I'm cup as well. I don't think we're in a relegation battle yet. There's 8 points between us and 6th place. We're not in a relegation battle. There's still 2/3 of the season to go yet. Not yet anyway, but could be. Ask me on Boxing Day after we play Swansea away, I might have a different answer. Prediction time then. I'm going with you, Gonzo, because Scott, I don't know what he's going to say. It's hard to... When you do these shows, you kind of get a vibe as to what the person's going to say with a score prediction. I'm not getting one from Scott, but I'm getting one from you, Gonzo. So go on, Gonzo, what's your prediction?
What? Oh, you think you know what I'm going to say, do you?
Well, I think you're going to predict a Man U win.
Okay, yeah, I am. I think Man U are going to win 3-1.
Scott, same for yourself. I don't know what you're going to predict. If I had to guess, I'm going to say you're going to go for a draw, Scott. But come on, let's hear your prediction.
Yeah, I'm going to go for... my head's telling me a Man U win, but I would never bet against us. I just can't do it. 1-1 draw, Antonio header.
Record breaker for Antonio, says Scott. Well, no team has won in Manchester in the league since the 24th of September. And if Scott's right, or if I'm right, that will still be the case after this weekend. I'm going 1-1 as well. So there you go. You've got two people saying the same score. Hopefully we'll be right. We'll be back on Sunday. About 6:15, straight after the full-time whistle. We'll be doing our live review, hopefully celebrating a win and not talk about another late defeat. But make sure you subscribe while you're here. If you're watching on a embedded website, go to youtube.com/HammersChat and click the subscribe button. But keep your eyes out, because at the weekend or early next week, we're going to tell you how to enter a massive giveaway. Some of the prizes are absolutely fantastic. We've got this season's away shirt from Umbro. We've got 2 tickets to West Ham United versus Burnley to give away. We've got the Hammers Chat pin badge. We've got a scarf. We've got word art prints. I've got a book. I've got loads of stuff to give away. We're giving
those boxer shorts, West Ham boxer shorts that you wore for a little while and didn't like them anymore. We've got those, haven't we?
Yeah, that's a top prize. But we're giving loads of stuff away, and we're going to tell you why we're giving that away. We're going to tell you how to enter through YouTube. So keep your eyes out, and also keep your eyes on the forum at hammerschat.com, and come chat with us. If you want your opinions read by hundreds of different West Ham fans, you want people to reply to your opinions, then come along to the forum, have a chat with us. We can be welcoming. Gonzo's Gonzo on the forum, so you know who to avoid. But we'll see you then. We'll see you on Sunday straight after the match, and hopefully celebrating a West Ham win and putting those fears of relegation to bed.